Hey everyone, just going to give my quick thoughts, or maybe my really long thoughts about the Flash 2023 film starring Ezra Miller. This film I was really skeptical about for the longest time. There was like a 50-50 chance if I was going to go out if I was going to go out to see this or not. So I decided to see it anyways, mostly for Batman. Because Michael Keaton's Batman is the Batman I mostly grew up on. And I also grew up on the old school Adam West Batman as well. But when Tim Burton came out with the '89 Batman with Michael Keaton, I was like, okay, this Batman works for me. And I also loved Batman Returns. And then after that, they switched out the actor, and then they switched out the actor again. And then we went with a long period of time without any Batman entertainment of any sort, except for maybe, I don't know, cartoons. But then we got the Christopher Nolan trilogy, which I did like. And then we got Batman v Superman. When it got to Batman v Superman, I was like, okay, hold up. We just had Kristen Bale. Can we just have some time to breathe here? Can we have like a decade or so before we get introduced to another new Batman? But I guess Zack Snyder and the WB Studios were like, nope, here's Batman v Superman. Enjoy. Here's your new Batman. Like, all right. Unfortunately, Ben Affleck's Batman was only in Batman v Superman and Justice League, and maybe a brief moment of time in the first Suicide Squad movie, unless that was a stunt double. But that's unfortunate, because I would have loved to see a solo Batman film with Batfleck. I heard there was supposed to be one where the villain is supposed to be Deathstroke, but that never happened, and that never is going to happen. However, now that James Gunn's in charge of the DC film division, we might get Batman versus Deathstroke with our next new Batman. Well, after the Robert Pattinson Batman, because that's supposed to exist in a separate universe now. It gets confusing. This is why I hate it when they constantly swap out actors for Batman. It just gets so inconsistent. I don't like the inconsistencies. I rather, if they're going to introduce us to a new Batman, I rather them keep that person as Batman for like a decade or so, instead of swapping out actors time after time. That's why, like, after the Christopher Nolan trilogy, I was like, wait, we just had Kristen Bale. What, we're getting Batman? We're getting Batfleck now? Like, all right, whatever. And then after him, it's like, wait, we're getting Robert Pattinson now? Like, what? Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent, my bad. But, yeah, Michael Keaton is back as Bruce Wayne, or a variant or a multiverse version of Bruce Wayne, because there's two Bruce Waynes in this movie. Ben Affleck's also back, so there's, yeah, Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton, both two different Bruce Waynes, both two different Batmans. Out of all the Batman scenes in this movie, I would say Michael Keaton ones. The Michael Keaton scenes were, yeah, they were working for me, even though, to be fair, yes, I know, all of his action scenes were assisted with CGI and a stunt double. But the way it was shot, it was working for me. I was sitting there like, yeah, this is the Batman I wanted to see on the big screen. And I'm smiling, and I feel like a kid again. What can I say? The opening action sequence with Ben Affleck's Batman was pretty cool, though. It was pretty cool. He did some cool stuff, but then I noticed some really shoddy effects. I'm like, wait, what? And some really odd directing choices that they could have cut out of the film. Like, it felt like a, how should I phrase this? The opening of the film felt very much like a Justice League cartoon. Very much like a cartoon. There was a lot of odd, shitty CGI choices that just did not look complete. And I was like, how? Why would they release the movie in this state? They even showed this movie to early screeners, where I believe they had a message for those screeners saying, oh, this movie is an incomplete version. You'll see the full version on June 16th, blah, 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 right? Well, after seeing this movie, yeah, yikes. I don't know why they choose not to touch up some of those effects. Actually, not some. There was a lot. There was a lot of moments where the effects just looked like PS2 graphics. And I'm like, oh, so we're really doing this. Okay. So because of that, I did reduce a few points off my final score. By the way, my final score for this film is a 7 out of 10. Reduced it for really weird special effects choices and also some odd choices with the writing during certain moments. I felt like they could have added some or touch up the writing a little bit more during certain scenes. So I ended up giving this movie a 7. And as for everything else, I thought it was handled well. Like, the action was well balanced. Or, well, not action, I meant to say the comedy. The comedy was well balanced with the drama. I felt like, what's his name? Andy Muschietti, the director, did a good job with that. Now, as for the action itself, there's a lot of fun, entertaining action scenes. I was like, okay, yeah, this feels like the most DC comic book film ever. Since, I would say, maybe, I don't know, the Justice League. But yeah, this feels very much like a DC comic book. And I was entertained by it. Sasha Calle, who plays... Is it Calle or Calle? I never know how to pronounce her last name, so I'm just going to say Sasha Calle. I deeply apologize if I'm butchering her last name. I was really skeptical about her at first, with her playing Kara, or Supergirl. And after seeing the movie, I felt like she did a good job playing Supergirl. I was digging it. I was digging her character. I was like, okay. There was not really a lot of time spent with her because she's introduced late into the film, and they mostly focus on really both Barry's and they, of course, you know, Michael Keaton. They have to give him enough screen time. So when she's introduced, she has a few moments, but it's like, all right, she's here and then she's out, and then she's here again, and then she's ready to join the final battle. I was like, I wish she had more scenes. But no, she did a great job playing Supergirl. I thought she was really cool. Really cool. And pretty much every scene involving Michael Keaton up to the final battle, I was just entertained. Just purely entertained. But how long have I been recording for? About a little over 7 minutes now. Okay, so maybe I should wrap this up. So anyways, it's a fun, entertaining DC film. Lots in there to enjoy, lots in there to cringe at, and lots in there to go, why? Why would they do this? But I think the fact that I was enjoying a lot of the Batman and Supergirl parts and a lot of the comedy and dramatic scenes maybe kind of like overlook most of the negatives of this film, and that's why I'm not giving it a lower score. But did I ever talk about the premise of the film? I don't think I ever talked about the premise. If you haven't seen the trailers and don't know what's going on with this movie, Ezra Miller plays Barry Allen, also known as The Flash. He tries to go back in time to change certain events to save his mother from her deathly demise or whatever. And by doing so, he changes up the universes, or he changes a lot of things throughout the multiverse, and he's not in the same universe anymore, and things are just a lot different. So he tries to fix things, and well, from there on, you have to see the movie, how it plays out. But yeah, he meets his younger self, and the movie mostly focuses on both versions of him, his, you know, his current older version and his past younger self. And there's a lot of fun dynamics between those two, or between himself. Oh, by the way, have I been calling Ezra Miller him? I forgot it's they or them. My apologies. I forgot we live in a day and age where now pronouns are now a thing, where people can identify as not male or female, but both. That's going to take some time for me to get used to. Like, hey, I was born in, what, 82? All right, so none of this pronoun shit existed back in the day, but now it's a thing. But yeah, it was a fun DC flick for me. If you're looking for something just... Well, how should I phrase this? If you're looking for something on par with like a Saturday morning cartoon, I would say check it out. If you're looking on something on par with a more darker, serious DC film, like let's say Dark Knight or The Joker, this film is not for you. It's not for you. If you're looking to excite your nostalgia boner because of Michael Keaton as Batman or returning as Batman, yeah, there's some things in there that will excite you. If you just want to go in there just solely for him, but keep in mind, this is not a Batman movie. This is a Flash movie, all right? But there's a lot of entertaining scenes involving him and his devices that he uses. It's like, wow, I never seen Batman move like this before, even though I'm looking at a CGI Batman, but still, it's very cool, and I feel like a kid again. But yeah, in the end, I ended up liking it. This is a DC film I would definitely buy on Blu-ray or 4K. And maybe when I do buy it, I'll probably just end up fast-forwarding it to the part where they meet up with Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne and just watch it from there, because I did enjoy everything from there on. Even though, don't get me wrong, everything before that point was fine. It was fine. It was just filled with a lot of comedy and really a lot of touching, dramatic moments. And to go over some of the CGI again, it's pretty rough. So if you're not seen this film or know nothing of the CGI special effects in this film, just go in knowing that you're going to see some really, really ugly effects, all right? So it's not perfect. Really, it's not perfect. However, for some people, it works, which I don't understand. Like, I've seen some really positive reviews of some people praising this film and praising how good some of the effects were, and I'm like, yeah, some of the effects were fine, but there's a lot of it that's not fine. I think people need to know this. Because certain cameo moments, which I will not spoil, but there's certain cameo moments where certain characters show up and it's not them. It's computer generated images and it looks ugly. Like when these certain characters show up in the film and nobody was applauding, I was like, I wonder why nobody's applauding. And then when the camera closes in on the character's face, I was like, oh, I think people know. At least my audience knew. But certain reviews I saw, people were saying, oh, so-and-so looks so good, and they never looked better. I'm like, bruh, it was not them. They were not there. They were computer-generated images, and it looked bad. Oh my god. So I guess bad special effects still work on people today. I don't know. But anyways, that's just my quick thoughts, or my 11, 13? I don't know how much of it this I'm going to cut out. So I'm just going to say 12 to 13 minute thoughts on the Flash film. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for listening in. Peace out.